We rolling? Okay.
Oh my god. Good. Later, bot.
I love my weather. Anyways, guys, if you haven't noticed, I'm in my car. Got this bitch back after like 6 weeks. Bye. Love you. At least my windshield crack hasn't gotten bigger. Love you. So right now I'm heading to Richmond to get dinner with a friend, and then I'm going to go camp, and then tomorrow I'm gonna go to Jamestown and explore that area because I've never been there before, and I'm gonna camp near Jamestown. But my car technically isn't all the way fixed yet. And you're like, oh my gosh, why are you driving it? Well, let me tell you. So when I picked up my car after they were done with the steering, I drove off, but my engine was just idling really weird, and then my check engine light went on, so I had to drop it back off with them. And apparently one of my coil packs were really bad, or went bad. So they fixed it for me, and then I'm going to replace the rest of this. So I ordered the rest of the coil packs, and I'm going to replace them myself. So that'll be interesting because I've never done that before. And spark plugs. So after my little Jamestown camping trip tonight and tomorrow, I'm headed home again. Gonna fix my car, and then I'll be gone for good. Also, I haven't had my car in weeks. And there's a bunch of stuff randomly back there. Like there's a giant part that didn't work back there still. So I'm gonna have to just like sleep next to it or just like push it out of the way. I'm gonna get to camp pretty late tonight, I'm guessing. It'll definitely be dark. So yeah, stay tuned for the little adventure I'm about to go on. I need some gas, so I think I'm gonna just go get gas at this exit. I've come to the conclusion I need to put cornstarch in my hair. I literally washed my hair yesterday, so that's really annoying. Okay, I just got to a random parking lot because I got here pretty early. I was expecting to hit a lot more traffic. So I have to go plug my phone in and kind of fix my camping situation back there, I think. Every time I open it, it goes everywhere. It's so hard to get off of things. So then it just blends into your jeans. Whatever. If you've never seen me do this before, if you're new here, this makes your hair like less greasy. Yeah, so you can just use cornstarch in your hair. And I do this quite often. Okay, finish my makeup. Dinner is soon, and then I will most likely catch y'all on my way to camp. Good morning. Point updated. So I woke up really early to fly my drone, and this is one of the most gorgeous places I've been. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's so peaceful. So when I got up this morning, Jamestown wasn't open yet, so I came back in here and went to sleep. But now I actually have to get moving, so I'm gonna get changed, brush my teeth, wash my face, and all that. I just wanted to say that it's so nice being back in my car. I've missed it so much. I was gonna wear this shirt underneath a flannel, but it's actually kind of a form out, so I might just put a tank top on and my flannel. Might have an issue. This is what the map is telling me. 2 closed roads to get into Jamestown. I mean, I guess at the very least, if we can't, we can go to Williamsburg. But I did not drive all this way for the roads to be closed. Oh, shit. So this is breakfast. I was gonna make a protein drink, but I don't have a cup or anything, and I don't feel like trying to funnel protein through a water bottle. So I'm gonna just have cheese curls. According to Apple Maps, there is no road closure. So I should be fine. Oh, I changed into this shirt because it's a little chilly out now with the wind. And I'm pretty sure you have to pay to go see this place, so I'm gonna go into the visitor center. If there's not a ticket person like right at the front, then I'm just walking straight through. Made it through at the cost of $15. It was 15 more, but I got it for free with my park pass, so that's cool. So yeah, we're in. Jamestown, Virginia was the first permanent English settlement in North America. It was established in 1607 by the Virginia Company of London, which was chartered by King James I. The settlement was started with 104 English men and boys and came 13 years before Plymouth, Massachusetts. The colonists struggled a lot after establishing Jamestown due to the marshy islands and lack of fresh water, causing crops to fail and malaria to flourish. I started my tour of Jamestown in the new town area right outside the original fort. After the establishment of the original fort, the settlers quickly spread eastward into a small area called Newtown. In the 1620s, representative government would take place and the town grew into James City, where inns, taverns, homes, and large shoreline warehouses were built. So apparently that was Swan's Tavern. It matches the dimensions of the tavern that was supposedly there, and they found a bunch of like broken bottles and stuff during the excavation process. These ditches right here and all the way over there were actually used as fences in boundary lines to keep livestock out of gardens, and they also drained swampy soil, and they also could have used as trash dumps. Even as the colony grew outside Jamestown, wealthy plantation owners retained property in town. Portions of the town were burned in 1676 during Bacon's Rebellion, but Jamestown remained the capital until another fire occurred in 1699, moving the capital to present-day Williamsburg. By the 1750s, the town had consolidated into single land holdings such as those belonging to the Travis and Ambler families, whose plantation house stood in the center of town. Today, the walls of the Ambler house still stand in Newtown. To the right of the ruins are the archaeological remnants of William Pierce's 17th century property, which is now called the Angela site.
Angela was one of the first Africans to arrive in English America. Among the thousands of Africans captured in Angola by Portuguese forces during 1619, she was placed on board a slave ship, the St. John the Baptist, bound for the port city of Veracruz on the coast of Mexico. The ship was attacked by 2 English privateers, and Angela was captured and brought to Jamestown. By 1625, Angela was living in the household of Captain William Pierce of Jamestown, a well-connected and wealthy planter merchant who built a large house on this site.
This is Jamestown. This is so wild. I mean, we're gonna get to the original part in a second, but this is still crazy. There are just ruins everywhere. This said that in 1619 the General Assembly met in the Jamestown Church. The site of the Assembly's meeting place would change many times, but this 3-gabled brick structure which stood here likely served as a state house from 1646 to 1652. When settlers arrived in May 1607, spring snow melt made the river taste fresh until summer arrived. The problem of potable water always plagued Jamestown colonists. Shallow wells dug throughout the town site were contaminated with surface pollution. In addition, when drought conditions increased, the water became more and more salty. The nearby swamp constantly added a naturally occurring ingredient, arsenic, to this toxic fluid.
Jamestown also saw the worst weather in centuries during the 1600s. The winters were referred to as the Little Ice Age, and the summers brought extreme drought. During Jamestown's first years, there were crop failures and food shortages which strained the relations between the Virginia Indians and the English settlers.
Okay, save the best for last. Actual Jamestown.
Now that you got a glimpse into what Newtown was like, it's time to deep dive into the settlement's early days and the challenges that plagued them. On May 14, 1607, the Virginia Company settlers landed on Jamestown Island to establish a colony 60 miles from the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. The site seemed safe because Spanish ships could not fire point blank into the fort. However, within days of landing, the colonists were attacked by Powhatan Indians, causing the settlers to quickly build a wooden fort. The walls formed a triangle and encompassed a storehouse, church, and a number of houses. Bulwarks for cannons were built at each corner to defend against a possible Spanish attack. In early 1608, Captain Newport returned to Jamestown with the first supply, a new group of men, because the governing council was not pleased with the accomplishments of the colonists thus far. They had not found gold or a staple product, so a new group of men with specialized skills came to town. However, the first supply did not go as planned. Disease, famine, and sporadic attacks from the neighboring Powhatan Indians took a toll on the population of Jamestown. There were times when the Powhatans would trade with the settlers, especially with Captain John Smith. But John Smith made a lot of enemies as well and got injured in a mysterious gunpowder accident and was sent back to England in October of 1609. When he left, Jamestown suffered what is known as the Starving Time, which was the winter of 1609 to 1610. About 300 settlers crowded into the tiny fort when the Indians set up a siege and told the settlers that anybody would be killed if they stepped outside the fort.
Not very big.
The food supply was already very low due to a drought, so the colonists eventually resorted to eating shoe leather and killing 7 of their horses. Due to the attacks by the Indians, famine, and disease, only 60 settlers survived the next spring. The survivors decided to abandon the town until they were met by the arriving ship of the new governor of the colony, as well as supplies. He convinced the colonists to return and rebuild Jamestown. A couple years later, in 1614, Pocahontas, the favorite daughter of Chief Powhatan, married the tobacco grower, John Rolfe. A few years of peace and prosperity followed this event. In 1619, the first representative assembly convened in the Jamestown Church, and a few weeks later came the first arrival of Africans. After the death of Chief Powhatan, his brother came into power, and in 1622 ordered a massive attack on tobacco farms and settlements. More than 300 settlers were killed, but Jamestown got word of the attack and was able to defend itself. Soon, Jamestown grew into a bustling new town, which we went through earlier. When the capital moved to Williamsburg in 1699, Jamestown slowly began to disappear, and by the 1750s, the land was heavily cultivated. In the American Revolution, a military post was located on the island, and American and British prisoners were exchanged there. In 1861, the island was occupied by Confederate soldiers who built an earthen fort, but there was never a battle there. When the Confederates abandoned the fort, the Union troops occupied the island the rest of the war. A seawall was built in 1900 to preserve the rest of Jamestown after part of it had been eroded by the water. The National Park Service acquired Jamestown in 1934, and the rest is history. Okay, my friends, I think that wraps up this one. I'm gonna make my way home, and hopefully the next time I see you guys, I will be actually starting my adventure. This was just a little bit of a trial run. See if anything went wrong with my car again. Okay, anyways, thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.